I'm just going to wait for that car to go by. Mashkode-Bishiki wug. Mashkode-Bishiki wug. Buffalo. In the Anishinaabe language, our word for buffalo is Mashkode-Bishiki wug. Mashkode means prairie. Bishiki means cow. So like one buffalo would be Mashkode-Bishiki. And then a bunch of buffaloes. Do you say buffaloes or just buffalo? I think it's just buffalo. But in Anishinaabe you say Mashkode-Bishiki wug. The buffalo. And you know, in them old Indian movies, they really made a big deal of the buffalo, especially with the Dakota people. You know, they're always showing them hunting the buffalo and stuff. And, I remember that in Dances with Wolves. You get to see them actually riding horses, and, you know, that was pretty cool. But the Mashkode-Bishiki, you know, they say, oh, it is a sacred animal to the Native Americans. The buffalo is sacred to them. They would use every part of the buffalo. It was so sacred. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of sacred, like everything's sacred. But, you know, not too sacred to eat and wear its flesh as our clothing. So like when they say cows are sacred to Indians in India, that's a different kind of thing. They won't eat cows. But the Dakota, I mean, even the dogs weren't sacred to them. They'd eat the dogs. But what else? Yeah. So, but that was a value. You were never supposed to waste anything. And the buffalo were sacred in the fact, just like with Anishinaabe people and deer hunting, the deer are sacred to us. You know, Anishinaabe people don't take deer hunting lightly. You know, it was a big deal to the families back in the day and the hunting parties and all that. And in the Anishinaabe way, you know, a hunter would put out some tobacco and give thanks to the deer spirit for offering himself up. You know, Anishinaabe kind of understood that, oh, I'm a great hunter. Meaning the deer are nice to me that they decide to give themselves to the hunter. So in the same way with the prairie cows, you know, they were hunted, but, you know, they were harvested. And so, you know, they would eat the meat, and then you would also, the skins, a buffalo robe, you know, they'd wear them as blankets and that. And the horns you could use as glasses or cups. You know, you could drink out of them. And sometimes they'd even wear them on their heads. You'd see these photos of these guys at powwows wearing buffalo, you know, headdresses. And so what else did they use? Oh, this one always grosses out the kids. You ever wonder how the grandfathers carried water back in the day, before they had plumbing and bottled water? You know, they'd have to be riding out on the prairie for a long time at it, you know, days sometimes. And lakes, it's not like up here in Minnesota where there's a lake every mile or two. You know, you get out in North Dakota and South Dakota. What did they do for water? Did they just have to stay by the rivers? Well, you know, the buffalo bladder could carry a lot of pee. So if you got yourself a buffalo and you didn't puncture it with your spear, you could turn that bladder inside out and carry water in it. So they would carry water in bladders, in buffalo bladders. You would try to use every part of the animal. You know, never waste anything. And that was also a value of the elders when I was a kid. The grandparents of my generation, the great generation, the World War II generation or whatever, the boarding school people. You know, and it's not just the native people, you know, white people too. They went through the Great Depression. It was a time when there just wasn't, people didn't have a lot of money. And they were worried about, you know, not having enough. And so they learned to save everything. You know, if you had a birthday party, you didn't just rip open your presents. You'd have to slowly open it up, fold it up again, because you could use that wrapping paper again. You know, wrapping paper doesn't grow on trees. I mean, they are trees, I guess, but you know what I'm saying. And they would save everything. You'd be like, okay, well, let's do the dishes. I'm going to clean up. And you start scraping out the frying pan. And your grandma would be like, oh, no, save that. Put that in a jar. We can save that grease and grease the pan with it later. It'll make the eggs taste like bacon. It'll be nice. But also, I'm not going to waste my money on grease. We have it for free. What else would they save? Wrapping paper, grease. Oh, the coffee can. You know. Be like, oh, we're out of coffee. I'm going to throw away this can. No, don't throw away the coffee can. You can put nails in there. Or you can, you know, put your bait in there, your leeches and that. Or you can you can use it as a planter. You know, get a starter for your garden. Or you can poke holes in the lid and keep bugs in there, your pet frog, you know. There's a million uses for a coffee can after it's empty. But then, you know, these elders, they grew up, and some of them, you know, they got past it. They made some money. But they would never lose that don't waste mentality. You know, you can be a millionaire, but if you were from that generation, you didn't want to waste anything. All right. What else? Mashkode-Bishiki. Buffalo. Mashkode-Bishiki wug. Buffalo. Should I call that a show? I feel a cough coming on, but I don't want to do it. You guys will think I'm giving you the COVID. Here it comes. I need a cough button. Okay, everything's A-okay. So yeah, listen to your elders, kids. When they tell you not to waste, waste not, want not. To those people who don't waste, they always have enough. And this has been your OJIBWE word of the day. I am NANABOOZHOO. Thank you for watching. Miigwech, ganawabieg. BOOZHOO, NANABOOZHOO. The podcast about OJIBWE language and culture. I will see you again. Gigawabamin. Menowa. Hawa. Let's see. What do you think we should play? Out on the street for a living, pictures only begun. that up. Out on the street for a living, pictures only begun. Ooh. Got you under their thumb. Out on the street for a living, pictures only begun.